الإعجاب بالفيديو والاشتراك في القناة تشجيعا لنا لنستمر بنشر المزيد إن شاء الله.
Big Ramy posting on his Instagram, big news. A lot of people have been speculating, myself included, who he was working with for this show. It was so quiet. George Farrah kind of threw it out there that he was working with him, but that wasn't really, you never know what to believe when it comes to George. And I had heard Patrick Tuer was helping him, and Patrick had, reached out to someone I knew and said he wasn't. So now we know, Chad Nichols, who's been in the news a lot, with the Sean Ray controversy, the Patrick Bet-David interview he did, and then Chad went on Patrick Bet-David's show and tried to discredit Sean, and so that went back and forth. So Chad's been in the news a lot. Obviously, Chad secretly working with Big Ramy, which makes sense because we hadn't seen any pictures really of Big Ramy during this diet period, which is typical Chad Nichols MO. Chad probably told him, lay low, don't show yourself off, keep yourself covered up, put your pictures on Instagram, but don't show anything, recent. Let's surprise him when we get to the Arnold. Luckily, the show isn't canceled, thank God, but in terms of the pro show, even though the expo, it won't go on. Now, the question is, how will Ramy look? I believe that if Ramy listened to Chad and Chad was running the show, he's got to look good. There's no way that Ramy's out of shape. If Ramy comes in out of shape or doesn't look good, I highly doubt it's Chad Nichols' fault. I would have to blame Ramy for not listening. Now, Ramy did look very depleted out in the face. We saw some training, footage of him with clothes on, of course, which told me that he was certainly in a very depleted state, which is good. That's a good sign. That means he probably is in shape. However, in this picture here that we have up on Instagram, I do see his face looks a little full, so Chad might be filling him up at this point, and I'm sure it has to do something with pie filling and diuretics. But look, it's right now it's Wednesday, so we still have Thursday, Friday, so we still have 3 days. So, the carving process probably has just begun. Look, if Ramy's in shape, there's very little that I think can go possibly wrong. Because Ramy's so good that all he's got to do is have conditioning, and I know Chad's going to bring him in dry. So I think it's going to be a very difficult look for these other guys to overcome. William Bonac obviously will probably have, the best conditioning on stage. I'm sure of it. But structurally, and size-wise, Ramy just overwhelms all these guys, including William. So if Chad did his job and Ramy listened, I have a feeling that this could be a slam dunk for Ramy. If not, then Ramy ought to pack it in because, Chad is an absolute taskmaster. I know he would have had him on point, just like Chris Aceto had him on point. So even a flat Ramy on stage is going to be the best guy on that stage because let's face it, there's no filling.